Hello, this is Bunny, and today is not such a good day. It's very riddled with anxiety and panic, and I'll start at the beginning. And um, there is rain, so you might hear that, and I'm in front of a main road, so apologies for that. And I'm drinking honey ginger tea because I heard it's good for anxiety, and actually this is the only type of sustenance I've had since today, and it's already 2:33 in the afternoon, and I actually woke up around 8 this morning, a little bit earlier than I usually wake up. I usually wake up around 9 or 10, and I just felt really cold. It's hard to explain. If you were to touch me, you wouldn't think I felt cold, but it was more internal. I don't really know what causes that, and something just felt off, and I could tell like my husband was having a nightmare because he was mumbling to himself and didn't like to be touched, and he was like clenched up and shaking occasionally. And I got out of bed and I tried to do my usual routine. I took out some of the trash, and I was planning to buy some milk and bread, but I just really couldn't. And um, I tried to watch a video, and I did. And I didn't just try, I did watch a video about how to deal with anxiety by a popular YouTuber, and I found that the advice there was good, and one of the things she mentioned was honey lemon tea. Well, I don't have lemons at the moment, so I'll just stick with the typical honey ginger with sugar tea. And there was a part in it that I kind of disagreed with. Not kind of disagreed, I completely disagreed with, because it didn't work for me in the past. And it's that, like, if you're in bed and you're feeling like you can't do anything today, don't listen to yourself. Just go ahead and just do that things, or those things. And I did that for years in university, and it just built up and became worse, to the point where I had one of those cow prods. I called it a taser. I got, even to this day, I don't know if it was real, because I bought it off eBay, and it had that not lightning, electrical thing, and made that really loud electrical sound, and it sounded really scary. And I felt like if I had this, I'd feel more safe, because that's, you know, my anxiety is basically like has to do a lot with me not feeling safe and secure. And but I would, go to school even though I didn't feel like it was a good idea to go to school and stay in the classrooms and do school activities that you were meant to do, or else you couldn't like go to the next year, because freaking Filipino universities are worse than high school when it comes to being strict. And there was a time I chased one of my classmates with the taser at 11 p.m. and then I turned it on when I was in a crowd so that people could get the fuck away from me, because they were way too close. I couldn't even turn. It felt too sardine-like, and I got like a wet paint sign and started swinging it around, because there was a mass, and if you didn't attend the mass, you had to stay in the campus, and they locked the doors so you couldn't leave the campus for any reason. And I I just sort of panicked, and I they say the best way to deal with it is to face it, but I felt like if I didn't run up to the roof, and because there was no people there and there was a nice breeze, that I could have possibly hurt someone. I really, really wanted to, because I felt like I was in danger. I felt, fight or flight, when you're scared, I felt like I needed to hurt people so they didn't hurt me, sort of thing. So I thought that YouTubers' advice of like just going for it and not listening to yourself is a horrible advice. It's really, really, really bad advice. At least for me. It might work for her, or it might work for some people, but I guess they don't really have a violent inclination. I don't know what's up with me, if there's something different about my anxiety. I mean, everybody's anxiety is a little bit different, and my face is so fleshed out right now. So yeah, and then after that I tried to like brush my teeth, and while I was brushing my teeth, I was hyperventilating, and I was like, okay, what would someone who loves themselves do? And that's what I asked myself during difficult times. And then my initial answer is usually what you would go for when you ask that question. And then it was like, go back to bed. So I did, and I did my breathing exercises, which I was taught in therapy when I went to therapy. I'm currently not seeing a therapist anymore because my therapist was in California. I'm currently in Manchester, UK. I sort of just like not ran away, but moved without giving anybody much notice, because it was very difficult living with my family, and it just made my anxiety worse, and it was a really bad idea, I think, going back to my family. And so yeah, I did my breathing exercises, but if you want to know, it's easier for me to lie down, because you can feel your belly going up and down, and it's supposed to be belly breathing, not chest breathing, which is like hyperventilating. And it's inhale 6 times and then exhale, not 6 times, like at a count of 6, and then exhale at a count of 8. And I did that for a while, and I would say it's better than nothing, because I felt like I was at a build-up, and at least, even though it doesn't put me down like from the build-up, it maintains me. And then I eventually fell asleep, and I woke up maybe about 2 hours ago, and I felt so much better, but I still feel pretty bad at the moment. I'm still shaken. Today's my fucking day, basically a day where I just don't give a shit about anything. I don't want to do anything. And, yeah. And more on to why, like, ignoring how you feel and just going about your day despite your anxiety is a bad idea. I believe that anxiety exists for a reason, and yes, it is very overreactive in my case and other people's cases who have anxiety disorder. But it is meant to be felt. Like, pain demands to be felt. And I remember posting that one time, and somebody saying, well, you should just commit suicide. And it's like, you don't understand. If I commit suicide, then there would be no pain. And that would be the ideal way to escape pain. And, what was I getting at this? It's basically letting you integrate the pain. It wants you to integrate the pain. It wants you to feel the anxiety, to be with the anxiety, and to be present with the anxiety instead of like ignoring it. And if that means being under the sheets and feeling mopey, and then do so, I would say. And you might say that's not productive, I think our society is obsessed with productivity, and it leads to panic attacks and nervous breakdowns in the long run. And I don't think if you're under the sheets and mopey that you stay in that state for long. You feel it. You feel it so fully, so wholeheartedly, the depression, the anxiety, that it will eventually pass. And it's something that I need to work on myself, because I'm also not very good at it myself. Yeah. So I think that's better advice than ignoring how you feel and just going about your day. I mean, I guess if your anxiety is less severe, then maybe it will work for you. But I like to think of it like Persona, the shadow self. There's this video game called Persona 3 and 4, and I can't really play. I used to do a Let's Play for Persona 4, and my PlayStation 2, I think, is broken, and I can't find my memory card. So there's that, and I'm actually doing a series where I compare characters to the tarot, which is pretty fun. And the idea of like fighting shadows and personas and things like that comes from Carl Jung. It's talking about the shadow self. He was very influential in psychology, and then if you don't, and basically in the video game, if you don't accept that that shadow is you, even though it's parts of you that are unacceptable or unflattering about yourself, or embarrassing about yourself, or that you're even repulsed by, then that shadow grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger and eventually kills you. So I think in a way that's how my anxiety is. It's like calling for attention, because like these past few days have been pretty good for me. I've been doing yoga every day, and it's just sort of like that little kid who's like, give me attention because I need it. And I've sort of accepted the fact that I'm probably going to live with this for my entire life. As for my trichotillomania, it's like the first video I've ever done on this channel. It's like the first video I've ever done on this channel. I haven't ripped out my hair today. I don't think I've ripped out my hair in like 3 weeks, which is a good thing, but I have like grabbed my bangs and sort of like pulled, and I like the feeling of like my roots like coming up from the scalp. I know that sounds weird, and I know that it's a form of resistance, and I know it's like making my anxiety grow in the long run. I know it's bad, but I'm not perfect. I don't really know what to do today. It is my fucked day, but I'm glad that I did this video. It's a little bit scattered. It's not everything I want to say, but I don't really know how to express so much. Like, I was feeling chest pains while talking. I'm losing energy right now as I'm talking, and I don't want to fight it anymore. I just want it. Let's just see where it'll take me. And I know that sounds really depressing, but I know I'll eventually come through the other side. And I'm in one of those moods where whatever you do, you can't make me happy. So, because my brain decided that it would be like that. So, if you're ever around me and I'm like this, don't be mad that you can't make me happy. It's not your fault, and it's not my fault either, so don't blame me. I guess in a way it is my fault, but it needs it to pass its course, basically. It's sort of like having a period. You can't stop your vagina from bleeding. You can't just like plug it up. I mean, you could with a tampon, but it'll still absorb the blood. So I think that's another really good way of putting it. So, that's all I have to say for today. I know my voice is very soft and tired sounding because I do feel emotionally exhausted at the moment. And, but if you've listened all throughout this video, I really thank you for watching, and